All right, now we are live. Oh, now should I say, welcome to another episode of Prime Parents. I'm your host, BiggDogg Chico, broadcasting to you live over the digital airwaves, of course, of none other than YouTube and Facebook, where anytime we can have thousands in attendance and millions listening from around the world. So wherever you are in this world, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this exclusive interview. So, introducing parents of current Colorado Buff, transfer from Missouri. Of course, that's the SEC where he spent 2 years. He's a Denver, Colorado native, 6'2", 250 pounds. I like to say legacy buff. He's number 53, sophomore, defensive end, Arden Walker. Of course, I'm talking about, and we're speaking to now his prime parents, Mrs. Candace and Coach Art Walker. I'm going to bring them on to the stage now. You guys can give them a big welcome in the chat. Thank you guys for joining me right now. Thank you guys for joining me. How you guys doing?
Good. All right.
Good, good. Thank you guys again for coming on. Everybody in the chat, y'all show love to Coach Art and Miss Candace, the parents of Arden Walker, of course, number 53 for the Colorado Buffaloes. So what I like to do on this, like to give insight of the parents so we can learn about the player a lot more. So we'd like to start at the beginning, so to speak. Tell us about, in your own words, tell us about yourselves and maybe even your athletic background.
I'll let my wife go first. Ladies first.
Well, I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, the daughter of a preacher. And, my background mostly was behind all music and of church. So no background of any kind of sports. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have done it. Father wouldn't let me play basketball. That was my number one goal. But, yep, that's kind of unfortunate. And
all right.
That's it. Well, that's all you get. Well, she didn't tell you guys that she's 6 foot tall. So before stuff started, I did the math. 6'4" plus 6 foot get you 6'5". So Arden said about 6'4". So he taller than 6'2" for everybody out there.
Yeah, he finally grew.
But a little background about myself. Yes, I played football, basketball, you name a sport. I played it growing up. Had an opportunity to attend the University of Colorado back from 86 to 90. My last year, we lost the national championship, and then they won it the next year. I didn't get redshirted, so I played straight through. I've been a coach once upon a time at Oklahoma State University, and that's been 20 plus years ago. And then I've coached high school. Then I've coached, Arden and his group of buddies that are playing right now. I coached them for years and years. So, and then I played a little football myself a little bit. So,
that's being modest right there. So let's talk about real quick. We get into your Colorado Buff career. Tell us some of your accolades and how was it when you played back in the late 80s?
Well, it's totally different from what guys have now. It's more finesse nowadays. So, of course, old school always going to be right. The game was physical. They had option football back then, and they passed. So you had to do a combination of things so you could get cut at any moment. You know what I'm saying? So you had to be fleet of feet, I would say that. I made all conference twice. Was a third team All-American, honorable mention All-American as a defensive tackle / defensive end. So, and then quite a few of my buddies that I played with, a lot of them participated, and several of them ended up playing in the NFL. I mean, I went to a couple camps, and just a little short-lived life, and it was what it was. Played in the World League, so kind of been around football for a long, long time.
Right. And Mom, 6 feet tall. Were your parents tall, or did you just sprout up out of nowhere?
No, we really have tall people in our family, both sides, my mother and my father. But my dad, he just would not let me play. I really wanted to play basketball, but unfortunately, he made me stay in the church, and which I feel like that was okay, because that would be later talked about, just why it's important for us to, always put God first. And so, but I don't have no regrets, actually, but I would have, like I said, so I like watching basketball. I love watching WNBA, but, it is what it is. But
right.
Hey, I went to a HBCU, Grambling State University. So the other black and gold.
So
Another one.
Chico, what she really want to tell you, she basically we had to compromise on the sport thing. Like I go sit and wait for her to shop, just like she sit and watch football. So she have actually learned what goes on football, basketball. So we have kind of made her out a sports person around here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, even though I was a Rams fan and glad they back in Cali, in Los Angeles, but also was I'm a Laker fan. So I love sports, but just that's because I didn't get to play it. So at least I watched it. So, and that's why Arden probably loves Kobe. Why I love Kobe,
You're all good with me because I'm a lifelong Laker fan myself. So you're all good with me.
I do root for the Lakers, so I can't. All right. Can't say anything bad about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't
let this wrong football team. It's America's team. You already know how we ride.
Cowboys.
Hey.
Okay, so I can't let it go by without talking about your early childhood in LA because LA is split up in so many parts. What part are you from in LA? And talk about your early childhood.
Literally, I grew up by where SoFi is, where they built the SoFi. So not too far where there's little quadrants, but it was really Los Angeles. But there's Inglewood, there's Hawthorne, so not too far. But I went to school with my friends. I had to go with my friends because I grew up a lot by Leimert Park with my grandmother while my mother worked and my dad worked. So I went to school more in that area. So I ended up going to a school by the beach called Westchester High School.
Okay.
A couple people came out of there, and so I decided for me, I didn't have that. I feel like that Black experience. So that's how I ended up going to a HBCU. They came out and recruited a lot of the students at our school. And so if I had not went that route and left Los Angeles, I wouldn't have met old guy right here. So
exactly. So that leads me right into that. How did you guys cross paths coming from? Because Dad, you're from Houston too. Before we even get to cross paths, let's talk about coming from your background in Houston.
Just so America knows, I grew up in Studewood. That's what it's called in Houston, and everybody that's a Houstonian from H-Town, they know what Studewood means. So I don't always let the world know where I'm from. I had opportunity. Actually, I grew up in Houston, and I have 6 sisters that grew up in the house with me, and I have 7 total. So, my father was a preacher, but they always say preacher kids are the worst kind. So I have them labeled that at times. So, but I had opportunity to meet Candace down in Houston, and that's when they had pagers. So I didn't call her initially when I first met her. So I made her wait a little bit. But she had on these little short leather hot pants, and I always tell that story. So that's what kind of caught my attention. So I had to make her wait a little bit, but then I doubled back. Seemed like it was a good choice.
That's right. And so you guys meet up there. She falls for you. She see the big sturdy, you know what I mean? 6'5" plus, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I had a code name then. I was going by Big Percy then. So
Big Percy.
That was my club name. So I had the big man dance. That was my dance. So
all right.
I stand there. So she was smiling a little hard. So that's why I went back a couple of days later and hollered at her.
So there you go. All right. So you move on. You start courting. You get the dating and such. Talk about how did go to your marriage and go to your kids.
Well, I actually have 2 older sons from another relationship, and then we just have Ardin together. So Ardin had the opportunity to be raised in the home with us, and we've been married 23 years, and then we dated about 5. So I had to make her wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I had to make sure she passed all the tests.
No, he just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for an LA girl. That's all.
She passed my mama test, the mama test, and the daddy test when they were here. So she was all right. So
right. Okay.
Then them hot pants kept me all right. So you already know.
All right.
That's not true to some of that story. That's
I have pictures.
Hey, let the men tell it. You know how we tell it, right?
I have pictures. I have proof. So all my buddies. I had 2 of my old college teammates with me that are verified. So I can always verify the stories.
Everybody got receipts now.
Okay, so
Kept a few.
You see, you have Arden, and tell us about him as a young man. And was he born in Houston?
No, he was actually born right here in Denver. So I was
Okay.
at Oklahoma State, and then on the staff, and then like I said, I was one of the younger guys, and then we messed around, got fired. So I just came back here to Denver. I didn't think it would be a big deal getting back into coaching, and it didn't turn out that way. And so we ended up moving here, and we've been here ever since. And like some stories about Arden when he was little. He's always been wiry, happy-go-lucky. So I mean, I can go from the first time. I think the best video I have ever was when he was about 4 when I first taught him how to ride his bike. So you hear him talking like, "I can ride my bike all by myself." So I mean, it's just stuff like that. He been we had him in every sport you can name, from football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, whatever it is, we didn't put him in. Golf, anything with music. So I mean, academic stuff, science camp. So we kind of try to make him well-rounded, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I heard him mention before in the interview that he played lacrosse. You don't see a lot of young black men playing lacrosse, although, in the past, with Jim Brown and even back further than that, lacrosse is pretty popular in our community. But right now, we don't see a lot of that. Was that something you consciously did to get him into lacrosse?
Well, they had an actual program that was available. So therefore, they seen him playing football and basketball. So one of the guys invited him out, and him and a couple of his friends, about 4 of them. Actually, one of our kids on the team was already playing lacrosse. So they actually, it was another ball you got bouncing against the wall and tearing up the basement. So, they busted out a couple windows down there. So, and it ran its course down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually pretty fun to watch. I was like, oh, actually, Ardin is an athlete, huh? If he can play lacrosse.
Right.
He got invited to a camp or something. He went up to California to play. And so he had, we kept him pretty busy. And he always knew academics was first because that was also something that we believed in. I'm an educator. I don't play when it comes to academics. And
that's the easy part.
We were pretty tough too,
That's just part of it.
That wasn't easy.
You always preach academics because eventually, like sports, football, everything ends one day. Either you might get an opportunity. If not, you still want to have, that background to fall on because you got to have a job. So, I already told him he's on the countdown. So we already had a debate about when I should cut you off. He's saying 25, like when insurance stopped, but I say before that, I'm going to break your plate and take your sheets. So we'll change the locks.
That's my child. No, we're not doing.
All right. So you're looking forward to being would it be empty nesters, right? That's right. That's the term, right?
Well, we were temporarily, but now my mother-in-law done had to come live with us, so that was short-lived. But for right now, we experienced it for about 3 months when he left, and then it's all quiet. You sitting up at night because you're so used to hearing feet come in, or you checking in. So that part of it didn't change. Or like having somebody run after and run behind. That changed also with all the AAU sports and all the stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We get Arden going to high school, Cherry Creek, right?
Yes.
Okay, Cherry Creek High School. Talk about him leading up to that. Is he looking like in your eyes? Okay, he's panning out to look like an athlete, exactly how I envision. With my size, with both of our size. And
I did my calculations. So I did do the calculations. Check that one.
We got
like he should come along around this size. Let's back up. Go ahead, Mom.
Let's back up a little bit because he didn't have a choice. Even if he went to my school, he had to play flag football. He played basketball. So around here where he grew up, and Art had coached the kids, Green Valley Giants. We was like running people out of town. So so they were good athletes and they really played hard. Very disciplined. Art was very disciplined, which I'm glad to see because some of the kids we see now are still they're playing, and that's a good thing. But Arden, he knew what it took. I mean, sometimes Dad would go overboard when he was younger, and like shutting down. I had to make him shut it down when we get home because academics are also the next thing. But football. I mean, he even once I can go back to say when he was in. We had a practice one day and it's raining and almost snowing or something.
Well, we're gonna go all the way back.
Yeah.
So I'll go all the way back to when they actually played flag. So they played flag football for about 2 years, and then you realize they were ready for tackle because they started getting down in actual stances. Because in flag you only put your hands on your knees. But they won a couple championships there then, and then when they got to Little League, it's some guys they can always say they got bragging rights. So they really excelled in Little Leagues. They won like the Super Bowl. They won that a couple years, and I had opportunities to coach with some of my college buddies that had sons on the team. So we kind of just treated it like it was a college environment. And the thing I used to tell kids, if you make it through me, you're gonna be all right. By the time you get to college, and the ones that stuck with it are having some decent careers today so far. And like I said, it's just been, it's been embedded. Like I said, you can't do football year round. So we kind of like, you basically experimented and explored every sport that you could. Just something to keep you actually busy all the time. Because I just don't believe in you sitting here and looking at me. And he'll tell you his job was to go out, pull weeds. So I'd find different things for you to do. Because that's, basically how I was raised.
Exactly.
Sit around. And we didn't have, some of the stuff that they have, the technology and phones and all that stuff like that. So, once you went outside, you stayed out there because, if you came back in, you had to be in before dark. But, if you came back in, you couldn't go back out. So, and I had sisters, so ain't nobody want to go play with them.
Real quick, where are your parents from? Because it sounds like your parents from Alabama, somewhere my parents from. Where are your parents from?
Well, they was from Belleville and then Prairie View, Texas. That's where my father was from. My mother's from Belleville, and they actually moved down to Houston. So I still have plenty of family that lives in Prairie View.
Gotcha. It sounds just like my folks right there, man. You go outside, don't come back in. You're not going in out this door.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you the truth. All right. So go ahead.
So as we went through,
I'm sorry.
As they went through Little League, so like football is different out here from like, let's say in Texas where you got middle school football and then you go to high school. Well, they actually went from middle school to high school, right to football. And then Arden and about 4 of them actually played varsity over at Cherry Creek. And I actually had the opportunity to actually coach them the whole way through. So that part was good. They didn't play for going on the trying to win their 5th title there. They didn't went to state the last 6 years. And so Arden, they went their sophomore year and lost, and then they won it like their junior and senior year. So I'd say that was a great accomplishment to do something with your kid. And then, like I said, to get to college, you got to kind of just let them go a little bit, give advice when you need to.
Exactly. So here we go. We're going to I guess we can go. Can we move to high school now? Let's see. We get to high school now. Okay, we go to high school now. We're going to Cherry Creek. What's that process like? Making plays out there, doing what he's supposed to do. Of course, you guys stand on him with your morals and values and stay academically inclined and stuff. How did that come about?
The environment was like totally different from like the environment that you had been in previously. So he had to basically make that adjustment. And then, of course, my wife would always say that I'm too hard. I guess they say I don't give people compliments. I give them to you when you basically earn them. But like I said, they actually went in and he played a lot as an actual freshman. So offense and defense. And then as time went on, it seemed like defense was his thing. So he'd always make these comparisons all the time. So I mean, I can go down a list of some of the stuff. First, it was where you gonna be taller than me? Then it's like we start talking about football, like my takeoff is better than yours, or I done made more plays than you, and I'm like, you're not even close. So I kind of like been going at him because I told him, they got some bricks on the wall over in the facility. So I counted 6 games that I played in. Actually, it's 7. So I guess I can call myself 7 brick. So when he gets some bricks, then we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Those bricks on the wall. My guy, former buff Lawrence Vickers, told me about those bricks on the wall.
Yeah, Lawrence from Houston. Yeah.
Yep, and he's from H-Town.
Yeah.
So
we went to Wheatley.
And
one of my other buddies.
So tell me about the H boys. What was that called? Tell me about that.
Well, that was me and we had a couple guys from Houston, but Alfred Williams and then Canavis McGee. They were outside linebackers, and then it was me. So we used to have a little celebration dance that we would do, or we throw up the H, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
H-Town, just in case anybody, at first they thought that was a Texas hook 'em horn, but
No.
we kind of took it and made it our own.
Right.
And so, we had a pretty good, they were, of course, consensus All-Americans, and, they were 6'7". I mean, Al 6'6", Kane was 6'5", and 6'4". So we kind of ran things back in our heyday. So, it was, y'all they got all the glitz and glamour now. We didn't have all the smoke and all the other stuff, but we gave smoke.
Exactly.
And you had other guys like Mike Jones, Oakland Salavea, Leonard Renfro. So we had quite a few guys that actually played. Joel Steed. So I can just go on the list. Like I tell Arden all the time, my front seven had way more horses. So anytime you want to make any comparison, whether the previous university or now, come see us.
Yeah, Salavia and some of those guys you just named were some dogs. Those were on some bells that I remember them playing in the league some.
Yeah, so like I said, there's quite a few guys. Chad Brown. I mean, I can go down the list of some of the guys that they got jerseys hanging. Deion Figures. I mean, it's quite a few. So we had quite a few guys that were coming here at the time. So who's who? Like when you talking about was coming here to visit, they were coming in to visit. Not everybody signed, but and like I said, I think Coach Prime has kind of got the same ship floating the same way. You go to a bowl game and just keep building. And like he said, he a couple pieces away, and this I think from what I've seen so far, he really got those guys working, and just the buy-in side of these young guys nowadays.
Exactly. So even getting before you get to Coach Prime, Arden earns several offers out of high school, right? And decides on Missouri. It wasn't, I heard them say before, it wasn't going to be Colorado. They were kind of going through it was way different than what it was when you play and what it is right now when he came out.
Well, he fought me on, of course, I'm always going to ride Colorado until I can't ride him no more. But he basically fought me on tooth and nail. Like I said, because the program wasn't doing well at the time. But he tried to give me the philosophy or the analogy. I went 1,000 miles away from home, so why can't he? So, I'm like, okay, you at that age where, we're going to kind of let you make decisions on your own. So I just listened. And actually, he had been to camp like at Missouri twice because I knew some of the coaches from back when I actually coached. And then he went to Kansas State. He went to a couple of different camps. So he's seen a couple of different universities. So but it was different because you had COVID. So you basically got, you was getting recruited on the internet, and I was, so just kind of had to go with what was the best. But like Texas and UCLA were like really, really in the mix. So he really was torn after a while because I actually stepped away just to let him, make these relationships with these coaches because basically it's his life, not mine.
Yeah.
Or his mother's.
That's very, very tough and, probably the most important decision that a young man can make coming out of high school, deciding on what college to go to, especially with a lot of offers like that. And then considering UCLA, where mom's family is from, right?
Yeah.
So he went out there too. So
he was close. He was really close. Yeah. And then, like he said, being on the internet, talking to everyone, it was hard, and exhausting. You could just see it. And, literally he and I had to talk. I said, you know what? You do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be what you need to do for yourself, and he did not make that final decision, almost missed it because he was asleep. He was so overwhelmed that he was asleep. I woke him up. I was like, aren't you supposed to be making a decision today? He was like, what time is it? I mean, that's how hard it was for him. And so, but he knew in his heart where he wanted to go, but he has always been that Buff fan. And he really went because to Missouri.
Well, Ryan Walters, who's the current coach at Purdue. So Arden wore his jersey the whole. That's why he wore 15 in Little League. Exactly. That's what Ryan gave him a CU jersey that and he wore that number from then on.
Forever.
So and then when he got to high school, he put on 83. Because I wore 83. But obviously they ain't let him touch 83. So that's how he got to 53. So
right.
So But yeah, so it was quite a big decision. But like I say, what I tried to do is, you give them advice, and I give it to you from the coach's side, the parent side, so you kind of get a mixture. So you can kind of hear what goes on because even nowadays, he's young. all the young guys, first thing they come to campus and thinking, hey, I'm supposed to be playing and, all this stuff. But you have to walk them through what actually happens in those meeting rooms. And a coach is always going to play you when they feel like you're ready.
Exactly. And speaking of that, Arden had a chance to. He's probably been in that stadium more than anybody on the team. As you took him. How long has it been? He said he remembers that 3 or 4 years old. Was he going even before that?
Yeah, we took him to the games all the time. So like we had buddies that always would tailgate. So like all these war stories, you heard war story after war story after war story. So that's like all my teammates are just like his uncles, and that's why he always referred to every last one of them as uncle, whoever it may be. And they've been around him. He's just been around. So he didn't heard it, but of course some of it he had like he don't believe, but it was what it was.
Yeah, when they talk about how good Dad was, he like, he got to take it with a grain of salt, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he go do his research sometimes. Like I told him, you're playing good football when you're making 3 plays in a row. You're making first down, second down, third down. If you can get it like that, that means you're playing some good football. So when you start doing that, then we'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what,
compare each other.
He's definitely been stepping up these last couple of games, getting the sack, force, actually a fumble recovery, pass rushing, QB hurries, and just being around the football and playing a lot more. How has it been watching him on the field a lot more these last couple games?
Oh, I've been we've been pretty excited to see him get out there and participate. I mean, and he was doing some of the similar stuff before he transferred here. But now, like I told him, no matter how many plays you get, you take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? I think that's, most kids like they're pouting and they're going into the tank. That's not how it works. So you go fight and take what's yours. And then, once you get out there, you make something happen, then you ain't got to worry about like being on the bench. Because guess what? You'll be a household name. So that's just what, we preach. And I just been, I watch film with him sometimes. So, he'll call you and ask for advice and stuff like that. But like I said, you got to keep on plugging. And it's been a learning curve because he's playing a new position. Because originally that's where he's supposed to play the buck position when he went to Missouri, but they changed the defense. And and so now, like I said, you got kind of acclimated, because you're dropping more than you ever have. But like the pass rush side of playing the run, that's one thing he learned first, how to stop the run. So so I think things come it's starting coming along. I think the last 2 or 3 games, I think he's had some decent snaps, and that's all you really want to do is play, within the framework, and give him some decent snaps. Try to help the team win.
Exactly. I see him coming along well. And go back to what you said. He's definitely not 6'2" like they have him listed on the website for some reason. I was fortunate enough to go to the game and be on the sideline. I had some of this in my video that I posted, but I went to the game. And I was on the sideline. I'm a former player too. I played at UAB. Okay. I haven't been on the sideline like that in a while. So I kind of got crunk. I'm a Deion Sanders fan. I got crunk up. And all of a sudden, 53 coming towards me. He like, yeah, big dog. And I'm like, oh, he know who I am. And then he, boom, give me a chest bump. I thought I was about to play, man. But once he chest bumped me, hey, this guy's not, because I was listed at 6'2". I'm doing like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's definitely bigger than that. So that size is coming into play from the 6-foot mom and 6'4" dad.
Right.
Do the math.
Oh yeah, he was wishing and hoping. But the more I saw him start inching up, I was like, "Are you getting taller than your dad?" And let my husband, he swears, he said he's officially 6'4" because he's been.
I went to Combine and got measured at Combine, so they got all my measurements on record somewhere.
Yeah, so, and the Combine gonna try to make you shorter. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. So you're taller than me.
Yeah.
So. Wow. You look at me eye to eye, but I don't know what your heart pumping just yet. Be working on that.
All right. So how is it? Tell me about the process of getting recruited by Colorado. As soon as I think he says pretty much soon as he got. He went into the transfer portal. Boom,
yeah,
he contacted Coach Nick.
Yeah, he placed his name in there, and then you start fielding a couple of calls came through, but I think as soon as Coach Nick basically talked to him, and then we sat down, we had opportunity to come and go visit the university and stuff like that. I think he just realized, like, man, home is home, and you only going to you'll get treated a certain way, especially at home. And you want the hometown, like I'd say a hometown favorite. Matter of fact, at the present moment, you're probably the only person on defense that's from the area. So, everybody's eyes is on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hometown guy right there, Colorado, man. They called him called you Mr. Colorado, called him Mr. Colorado, and all these things. You got a couple
all
other
these
guys from
names.
Colorado, different names, but I call him A-Dub. I call him fast pace, because he's getting after the ball all the time, so
Right.
I like his motor,
He it was hard at first because we kind of always believe in you finish what you started, we always said that. And he was just like, he's been that kid when Art talked about him going back to when he was a little boy on the bike. It's always been, let me do it. I can do it. Let me do it. Now he just fight us. He would fight us so much. And as he got older, they don't think they don't trust me. When he got older, they don't trust me. They don't think I can do it. I go, oh my goodness, just do it. Just do it. And so that's how he felt. And the same thing when we talked to him, because we were like, I don't know what, I'm already on the fence. And he was just like, can you just trust me? Can you just
Well, I mean, even that whole situation when it arose, I mean, I gave him my opinion, and I tell you, like I said, I believe in being committed. And at the time, I'm like, well, I had to sit back and say, well, I'm just gonna listen to my child, who's a young man turning into a man. So I had to go with how he was feeling. And like I said, he's been showing all 32 nowadays. So since he's been home, I'll give you a perfect example. When he first came home, you got plenty of room in the house, and he has his own room, own bathroom. So he came to our bathroom, and then he put his toothbrush in our toothbrush holder between mine and Candace. So you see I'm looking like, you see his clothes hanging in my bathroom. I'm looking like what is this about? But I guess he's coming to reclaim his territory or whatever. But it just happened to be there, even though we made quite a few trips out to the other school. So, and now it's more convenient. You're 30 minutes away versus, traveling, like 2 hours one way. And then, like I said, you have to get there the day before the game. So there's a whole lot of stuff that went with that. So, we're pretty happy to see him here.
And then he can get some of mama's home cooking, as he said, right?
Yeah. If he don't want his dad smoke barbecue, because I think he just smokes up our house the whole time.
You know what? I think I had a comment once I posted that I'm going to be doing this show, or have you guys on. I think somebody posted a comment, I think on Instagram, said, ask his dad about some of the best smoked barbecue in Colorado. What that you?
I'm all right.
He said his house. He said my house.
Hey, I know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Give me the fire and the sticks. I know how to get it tasting all right. I'm from Texas. That's my background.
There you go.
My father, they had owned 2 restaurants in Houston before he passed, and I had uncles on both sides actually that cooked all the time. So you couldn't help but pick up certain stuff. So nowadays everything is a competition. You can't go out there and play basketball or nothing like that. So you got to figure out different ways to compete. So some of my friends talk that, but they ain't ready to walk it with BiggDogg.
Right.
with the real A-Dub.
That's right. A-Dub. All right. Okay. So Coach Nick Williams calls and pretty much offers him. I'm sure he had other teams reaching out to him, still trying to make that decision, decides to stay home and play for Coach Prime. Of course, you guys are excited about that. What did you guys think about when you heard the news about Coach Prime coming to be the head coach at Colorado?
I
was shocked.
I thought I was actually excited, of course, because like I said, you already turned around one program, him being at Jackson State. That you prove that you know how to recruit, know how to get it done, and that's what it's about. It's about the recruiting game, and if you can get the right players in, and then the X's and O's will go for themselves. So, and I think he does. So far, they've been doing an excellent job of like just getting it started. So, and I'm quite sure they're going to go right back and just add. High school guys and portal guys. So I'm quite sure they're going to just go back and continue to add to, to have some success around here. And I think so far they're on the right path.
Exactly. Mom, what do you think about Coach Prime? And what was your thoughts? Again, you say you were surprised and.
Yeah, it was Colorado, I didn't grow up here. So I kind of was not liking when I first got here. So I was like, Colorado? Come on.
Right.
But you've grown to love it. I have grown to love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I would raise Arden here all over again if I had to. Yeah, the weather, but in California had the best weather. But I always liked Coach Prime in the younger days of him being an athlete. So to hear that, I mean, more than anything, I was shocked, but yet I was like, God, that must be what this place needs, and somebody once told me, God don't make mistakes. And I was like, that's right. God don't make mistakes. That has to be why it's real. It's surreal. So I was shocked. And so when my son even thought about it, I was like this, for real? So it's been all a lot at first for me to just digest, because I'm so black and white. I'm not that best at just always seeing a bigger picture. I'm always just like this. Is this or that? This or that? Arden might be a little bit like me sometimes too, and I have had to get him out of that. But yeah, once we, felt comfortable and we met people there, I felt comfortable because I'm the one would not trust probably as much. And the Coach Nick, when I got to see him face to face, because I don't know anybody's after would come for my child, or my child's going to that person. And when Arden likes any and everybody, he's always been real friendly. So I'll go, who is that? I don't know them. I need to meet them. I don't care about them. I'm so terrible about that. He knows. He go, oh my gosh, Mom. But he was like, that's when he said, just trust me. And so when we got an opportunity to visit this place, I mean, in our own home, it was interesting, just to go out there and see Colorado in a nutshell. I mean, see you in a nutshell, just to see it again. I hadn't been on the campus for a long time, and I was just like, this gotta be real, But to meet Coach Nick, he's a really nice, very nice young man.
And
go
ahead. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just gonna say, when it comes to just like the staff, the guys that we've met so far, like, as far as seeing the facilities and all the stuff like that, we had seen that tons and tons of times, because even before he left here, as hard as they recruited him or whatever. But I just think, you basically had some, new life in town, and it basically so far, it's going to be a climb, but I think it's working. And I think besides the cameras, the glitz and glamour, what everybody think, behind the scenes is that they're actually working based on, what I hear. So they're actually working, which I'm actually pleasantly satisfied with that.
Right. And it's almost like a professional environment, how serious they are and how they're taking things. So sometimes it's not, you have the structure, now you had to get the right people in there to, get the right production out of what you have. So,
and people ask me, and probably even Art, they ask this a lot. You think Arden gonna be able to handle that? You think Arden gonna be? I said, if he can handle his own dad,
right,
discipline as he is and still is, and don't give compliments like some of his other guys tell him. I was like, yeah, he I'm sure he could do this, not knowing everything, but to hear that discipline and the practice and the belief that even Coach Prime has made me comfortable, made me feel better, that this most definitely, it was the right move. But it was the discipline side for me that I was more in awe about.
Yeah. And I think Dad also can appreciate that, the fact that the coach that he's going to be being recruited by and coached by, Coach Nick Williams, young, passionate coach, former player, a lot of had the experience, like I said, coming from Georgia, Texas A&M, under Kirby Smart and Jimbo Fisher. So you could just see that passion. So I'm sure you was comfortable, hey, go ahead.
Yeah, because he got a little fire and brimstone to him, which, sometimes guys need to have a fire lit on them. But like I said, I hadn't had any complaints. I mean, like I said, I think Arden has been actually excited playing for him. And then, like I say, just the knowledge that he's bestowing on Arden, I'd say I give him 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, he can talk the language. Sometimes you got to meet the kids where they are, and challenge them. And that's me on the education side. It's sports to me goes hand in hand, academics and how we talk and how we speak to our young people, our young men. My husband always believed if you're gonna tear them down, you bring them back up, you build them back up, you tell them what that they are still doing good over here, even though you need to work this and that, and I feel like that's what we're hearing. That's something that Arden needed anyway. He needed that so badly because that's what he was used to,
Right.
Yeah, Arden is always an open to. If I make mistakes, then show me. He'd be like, coach me. Tell me, this is what I'm used to. You tell me, I can talk that language back to you. You tell me, you asked me, I did it. I studied it or whatever. And that's what we always knew about him. Arden always have a high order thinker. He's always been a high order thinker. So to find somebody that matched that's amazing. I was like, finally. Because sometimes when he used to talk to me, I'd be like this, well, I don't know where you are, but I say to meet you there, but sometimes I couldn't meet him there, but Art, he's similar to his dad, and they just really think here, and you got to be on top of it. The mind is constantly going, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just certain, I had certain beliefs, and there's certain things that you try to instill with them. And like some of them been around me since they've been 3 and 4. And people used to like look crazy because I wouldn't let people actually. You couldn't even if you was gonna come coach, you couldn't curse. I didn't believe in that because I over the years you have some guys act like that's the only way you communicate by cursing me out or something like that. Which I figured no, let's actually teach them some actual information. Then you still can make them aggressive in other ways. Like to say they thought I was crazy when they were little because if it wasn't lightning or something, then we wouldn't practice. But if it was snowing or cold or rain or whatever, we was gonna be outside. And so you kind of just created an environment of toughness, and then it just basically carried on. And then the more you preach it, just getting them to actually understand how actual life goes and how things function in life. And you got to be able to, like I tell my friends, everybody talk, because they say he talks proper or whatever. But I'm like, don't let that dialect fool you, because it's illegal to have pit bulls in Denver. And I had a couple of them around here.
Talk about that rain or snow. You get your hands dirty. You get your hands in the dirt. It was get your hands in the snow too. And we got a picture of Art standing out there with his umbrella while all our kids are getting wet.
Tell him, coach, you paid your dues and you coach.
That's right. Hey,
so Arden knows how to play in the snow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He don't like when you don't say he tough because Art started out calling them little puppies, little war puppies.
Hey, war dogs.
And then he called them war dogs.
That's universal. For all the guys that ever played it, that's been a D lineman, you hear the word war dog, they know what it is. We hunt in packs.
Right.
We created a couple of war dogs along the way over the last, like say, 30 years.
Yeah. Say don't let the nice guy fool you. You think I'm not. I'm so nice, but honestly, he can try him on that other side.
Well, he's
done to walk through life.
It's walking and learning and talking, walking it. I always tell them, don't talk about it, be about it. That's that's me growing up. You don't talk about it. Do what you got to do. People gonna want you to say something, want you to do that. You always tell them, I'm not talking about this. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how he is.
So, Coach, you ended up building a business out of training, correct? Starting with your sons, or was it before then, or how?
Actually, kind of just something I just stumbled into. Like I said, coached forever, and I'd been coaching, and so I was actually just training Ardin one day, and then the first guy I ever trained was this DeMarcus Walker, who he plays for Chicago Bears right now. So he's been coming to me about 4 years, and then like I said, you have a whole host of other Malik Reed, Derek Tusker, Deshaun Williams. I mean, so I've had quite a few guys that came through, and they're just word of mouth, because like pass rushes what a lot of guys want to have information about. But, I do run stuff. So it's kind of like just a whole gamut. And then I had some of the high school kids, which actually it worked out at times because the pro guys don't mind some of those guys been around. They would correct them when they're not doing something right. And so, I got tons. Like I said, I've been slacking. Because I suppose I put all this stuff on Instagram, but I got tons and tons of film of me training guys, over the years, like Deion Sizer. So, it's quite a few guys that, I just kind of bumped into. And, so, even in the off season, so they're just, like I said, there ain't nothing I can actually advertise anything, but I guess now I'm in the game. But I've just been around, D-line play, and I've been around it forever. So it's like you never stop seeing film, because even when I didn't coach the last 2 seasons. I still have guys like my other ones that just graduated from high school. Got a kid that's at Oregon and then one at Iowa. So those, and one at Kansas. So those guys would come over. We watch film on Thursday night. So we just go over different stuff. Not messing with the game plan or anything, but just things that you can actually attempt to do or whatever, and it actually proved to be successful for them. But like I said, it's just been kind of interesting. And where you're at, I guess I can say that. So I had to start kind of staggering the days, as far as when guys would come see me, because they want to, the pros are going to make you do it over and over and over, and they want to perfect it. And I think, I think it's been great for the kids. That's where Arden kind of like even learned his work ethic, because the first question some of those guys asked him, how many times did you work out? And he said once. And, those guys are doing it 3 times a day. So you got a routine. And I think that kind of clicked the light bulb in his head. And then, like I say, they've been around the kids. And, the funny thing is being around pro guys, when you don't act like you starstruck or anything, they're comfortable, because some will come here, they call me at any time. They come right here and go right to the basement, because I train them sometime in my basement, or sometimes we do stuff outdoors. But it's been pretty interesting, because then you get to sit back and watch during the season, like how they're playing. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be pretty cool. Actually, Sunday we'll get to kill 2 birds with one stone. We're gonna watch UCLA, and then we're gonna go to the Bears and Chargers game Sunday night. So I'll get my little dose of football.
Yeah, you get to enjoy those. You get to enjoy watching those seeds that you plant and grow, and everything that you put in there, you get to see it come out on the field with these players. So that's a good thing. Same thing with you, Mom, with your educational background. Talk about how, real quick, how you and some of the things that you instilled, both of you guys as parents, you instilled in Arden, and even some of the other kids you influenced as far as education.
Well, most definitely, the best part of when they were little league, my husband, we conversed, but he knew, like, you got to get them motivated. And I'll go, especially when they were younger. So real young, he went with the train, and the kids love the train. So he did something with some train. So, that was us going hand in hand about how you get young people, especially boys, young boys to stay focused and get on top of their game or whatever. But as we move along, like you said, when you build them up, you reward them, you give them, they were getting stickers on their helmets and everything that they did, whether it was the sack or the tackles, how many tackles they got, they put them on their sticker on their helmet. So everything was practice, and practice makes perfect. And, but the biggest part of us was study. You can't just walk into a room and do a test. You can't just walk into, you have to study. So we believed in, study. So Art also made them study their plays, and so Arden has that background where he studies his plays. I go, what you doing? If he's talking to me or he get mad with me about something, I go study your plays, So, we still talk the language.
Well, like I said, all I try to do was, we try to create an environment. So like guys that ever participated, I made you accountable for your academics. I made you accountable for, like, say, for instance, like even when they were watching film, I made them watch film in Little League. So they had Colo. So I gave them access to that. And, of course, you can watch how much time somebody been on film. So it's the same thing. Like, you had a grade check every week. So I kind of just created a system where it kind of taught you, like, what was going to happen as you went along. And so, it's just make you accountable. That's the big thing. Because, like I said, a lot of parents don't understand it. You got to have all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed nowadays, because the recruiting game is totally different.
For real. And same thing, that kind of goes right into what he's going through with Coach Prime, because Coach Prime watches and see how much film that they're watching, individually, and he grades off of that also. So I don't know whether, they realize that, some guys, but if they've already been through it, like you had them going through it, it's something that they're now used to.
Well, I would say this to all those guys that are on the team now, anybody that's out there and out there in that land, if you intend to be one of the best of the best, and there's only 1% actually makes it there, you have to be a student of the game. So just going online, nobody get away with that anymore. And like, actually, when they were little, I made them learn coverages. I made them learn whatever I know. I made them actually learn it.
Right.
Offense was defense. And, so when you got to high school, because that wouldn't happen out here, sometimes kids get to high school hadn't learned anything. And so you just want them to be like, okay, so by the time they got to college, all the coach got to do is polish them up. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So they got the formal training. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between, some of our kids like not having the formal training versus getting it. And then,
Yeah.
you can get results.
And I'll tell you something I thought about that you said earlier about not cursing at the kids, finding another way to articulate to them, what you're trying to say, because I think that breeds an articulate kid, because now he's not just using curse words to say how he feel or whatever. He's actually getting the lingo, like you said, direct from the coach, and is not just yelling at him and cursing at him because you're frustrated. But then, not to be long-winded, but then you have these coaches that will say, well, it's preparing them for life. This is how life is. Well, how do you feel about that? When a coach come back and say, well, this is how life is.
Well,
So they're going to get cursed at.
Not preparing you for life, because that's not realistic. And then you're not going to work any job, corporate America, wherever it may be, whatever job you make, that you're going to have somebody that's going to yell at you. Because if they are, then you got the wrong job. You need to find what fits you.
You'll be written up or whatever else.
HR, you'll be calling HR. So no, it doesn't work like that nowadays. No. And like I said, the word coaching is teaching. So that part of it, and that's how you get more out of a kid once you get them to understand what you know. You're teaching them something that you know, and then you're trying to get them to play beyond what they could do themselves.
Right. What they even think they can do.
And that takes you to be firm. Like I said, as they got older, then I could, put my hand on my mouth or talk to you like this right here and tell you what's really on my mind. But when they were younger, no, I didn't want them in a shell. I wanted them to, have the best experience possible. So, you have too many kids that might play, then all of a sudden they quit because the coach been talking crazy to them or they didn't get an opportunity. So that it's just so many different moving parts with it. And like I said, this the mental aspect, the mental health aspect of things nowadays.
Right.
So, you just got to, like I said, I tell everybody all the time, you pour into them as much as you can, whether that's your pastor, as a teacher, preacher, whatever it may be, a coach, you want them to pour into your child so you can get the best results.
Exactly. And I appreciate that. I agree wholeheartedly. So let us know real quick as the chat is going crazy right now. Y'all go ahead, get in the chat and leave your questions as we're winding down. Dang, we're already at 52 minutes. We usually have to go an hour, and we have 52 minutes, less than 8 to go. Get your questions in right now if you can. I have one start here right now. Let me see. From Jay Hudson saying, please ask Mr. Walker his thoughts on the importance of team learning and singing the fight song.
Well, I mean, I've said the same thing like everybody else said. I mean, it's not hard to learn it. It's a few words. I mean, they added the F them up on the end of it, which that wasn't there. Okay. Just a few words. As long as they get the win, baby, they can sing whatever they want to sing. I'm just about getting these dubs. Bring us back.
There you go.
But don't let them fool you. Some of them players, he barely met and he passed by. Y'all better learn that fight song, though. That's
what Buff do. Buff Pride. You're supposed to know the fight song. I had to learn it. It took a while. I was singing my high school fight song.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So, War Eagles to the Dome. That's what I was singing then. So, you learned it after a while.
All right. From Genealogy said, do you think all the cameras and visitors give the players an idea of what they may face if they make it into the NFL?
I mean, I think it's a whole lot of attention, especially some of the guys are getting, especially offensive guys. Everybody knows the personal offense. They don't remember defense. But I think it gives them kind of an idea. But like I said, I think he has them focused enough where not everybody. I don't think the kids are paying attention to those cameras. So it's like being out and playing in front of a crowd. After you done did it so many times, you're kind of like in your own zone, so you're not worried about all the other stuff that go along with it. I mean, the one thing I'm quite sure they keep preach to them, like I preach to mine, is don't do anything that's going to embarrass your family name. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be all right. Exactly.
Do you find yourself still coaching Arden on certain plays after the games, or just that?
I mean, I watch. Of course, I watch the games. I watched, I watch it, and like I said, if I see something that's not correct, then yes, I'm gonna give him my 10 cents. I mean, he asks me all the time, or he might have a good pass rush or do something good. He'll send me a clip or two. So I mean, we always discuss. I'm not a helicopter parent or none of that stuff like that. So I've been actually being a fan, and I think people being up in the stands, I got used to that. I like to yell and go at fans when they going in. So I go have my fun that way. But as far as just watching film, I mean, yes, that's part of it. I mean, I never stopped. I mean, I got high school guys that actually, you know, you got some pro guys that check in. They want you to look at stuff and analyze it. So, I mean, you know, I guess four eyes is better than two.
Every day, all day.
You know,
especially when you're watching film.
Right. And like I said, and you know, like I said, you could see things that maybe that Coach Powder told them, or you know, maybe something that I hadn't seen that. Hey, man, why you not doing that? Because like I said, even with Arden, you know, you got a plethora of moves and knowledge and everything like that. But it's just like I tell everybody I ever come in contact. How often do you apply what you know, especially when you got a wealth of information?
Yeah. Art, he will record the game, so he'll watch it again. Just be looking. So, you know, that's the funny part that I do enjoy. I go, and he'll watch it, and that's when he's really studying. So then when Arden does call him, will tell him, yeah, you could have done this on that and this and that, you know. And I love that still, because, you know, he has a good relationship with his dad. And that's important. And it's important to him, you know, just to hear still, how's he doing? What could he work on better? You know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Sadie Reacts. I call it Sade Reacts. Shout out. That's Sade, right? Look at that. Y'all see that? Y'all, that's Sade. All of us old schools, that's Sade, right?
That's what I said, Sade.
Sade Reacts. Shouts out to her. She says, will they be tuned in to watch the new primetime documentary showing on Prime Video?
Of course. You know, it's Buff football, so everything about the Buff. So of course, you know, keep track. Sometimes you'll watch a YouTube video here and there. Chico.
My mother.
My mother-in-law is she's a YouTuber now, so she didn't know what it was, but I got it clicked on the TV. So
and she watches her grandson because she has MS. Yeah, she has MS, so she can't travel or go to the game. She would like to, you know, but she want to make sure she is an Ardin fan. She loves her grandbaby, and so she makes sure she finds every which way she can see what's going on and how it's working out there and see you land.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Michael Anticio, I would think that says, what NFL team did Arthur Walker go to work out for out of college?
I went to the Los Angeles Raiders as a free agent when the first time I came out.
Okay. That was LA Raiders, right? So was that during the time? No, that was Bo Jackson was a little bit before you.
Bo wasn't there, yeah.
Yeah, Bo a little bit before you, I think. Let me see. So at least you got him back to LA. He was almost back to LA, Mom.
Yeah. Almost. he missed me.
Let me show y'all the H-boy. That's H-boy for y'all, just in case y'all can't see it out there. That's where we are, Texas.
All right.
Plenty of
So they say I watch Arden's YouTube channel also. He puts out great content. What do you think about the young players having stuff like a YouTube channel nowadays? It's same time as playing sports, being a student athlete, and now you have a YouTube page, but at the same time, it can bring in some revenue for these guys. So
it's totally different. Like I said, especially with that part of the social media part of it, because you didn't have that aspect of it, and that's just more stuff for them to worry about. I mean, like the NIL stuff that came about, and me and all my old teammates, we see I'm saying if they had NIL, we've been some filthy rich men right now.
Right.
But it's a way for you to actually, you know, your name and likeness is a way for you to actually make some revenue, which like I said, if you're doing what you're supposed to, that's giving you a start on life.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, not, like I said, to all the young fellas out there, which I know some of them getting this money, you better pay your taxes for the IRS come see you.
Yeah, that's important also. Pay your taxes, get right. But it's also an opportunity to learn about it and how to handle that stuff, you know, with a little bit of money coming in, how to handle your taxes and file correctly and things like that.
Yes.
Maybe even go ahead and get you a business.
And still keep it at a balance, though. You know, everything you have to balance. That's what I tell him. I understand this is the way of the world. Everything is social media, this, that, and the other. But, you know, you have your focus. What's your main purpose? What's your main goals? You know, so I get all of that. Some of us don't, you know, I'll go, what is this all for? But I get it. A lot of it. But
I just try to tell him, you better have some money in a shoe somewhere for a rainy day.
Oh, yeah.
Or you
No,
getting NIL money, what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Because like I said, when I cut you off, I can't help you.
That's dad right there. Even Coach Prime said stuff like that about his kids. You know what I mean? Hey, well, hey, what he said? When you're 26, call it dad for something like that. He said, "Don't call dad for no money. Call me last."
No. You supposed to be calling me to take me somewhere.
Right. Ed in Houston. Shouts out to Houston once again. Right above me, you'll see Arden's jersey. It should be available on the Colorado NIL store. Type that in on Google. You can just Google Arden Walker jersey or Colorado NIL store, and it should pop up. Mom and Dad, do you guys have any things that you're promoting? Any businesses? Anything you want to promote and put out there so people can follow?
I'm just trying to get him to retire me. If he going to keep this thing going, I mean, Art eats, breathes, sleeps football. I promise you. I mean, I might get to say hi to him sometime during the week or the weekend. But at the end of the day, I love that he has always loved this thing and sports. I just never grew up in it, so I didn't know what it looked like, but I have enjoyed the ride. And I do believe our pastor even told him, Art, get you a business, Art, get your business. And it's right there in the palm of his hands. And so I think he is so good at what he does. And whatever path I was, I always, we thought I really thought he was going to win in college.
Get some diamonds up in this joint.
But seriously, I do promote. I believe in the Black business too, and I want him to be able to
Chico,
continue to enjoy what he does.
I mean, one of the players named it the Art of Pass Rush. Just something that I've just been messing around with. It's nothing serious. That's my little seasonal business, but it's nothing serious like that.
Well, it's gonna get serious. It's gonna get serious.
Yeah, she the one who sings, so she ain't tell you all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
so when she was hanging on that midnight train to Georgia, that really got your boy, especially in them leather pants. I was all right. Now she done pumped me up tonight. I might have to go on,
Well, yeah, definitely though. I saw on your Instagram, your coaching and your business potential. Go ahead and put all that stuff, all those videos on your phone. Yeah, all those videos you have on your phone, post them things to Instagram.
Yeah,
you need any help?
Because people have been telling me for years what I need to do, and I've been having it. Like I said, I just never haven't done it, and I just started. Arden just showed me how to navigate on Instagram, so I'll go ahead and go and make that part of me.
Exactly, and go ahead and make that passion, that business. You know what I mean? Because it goes hand in hand. It'll be natural. I see it in you. I hear it in you. You know what I mean? So hopefully I can have you back on. We could talk some more football on my show. Whether it's going to be post game with the Buffs or something like that, we could talk football. Just get some, get some stuff off our chest.
Anytime.
So I think we already at an hour, man. I can talk to you guys for the longest. Hopefully I can have you guys back on once again after Arden get like this 3-sack game and all this other stuff he's gonna be doing.
We waiting because I'm tired of going in the vault looking at myself. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, Arden, you hear that, right? Arden, you hear that? You gotta step up.
You know what's up. You know what's up.
That's right. All right, so everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys joining in, tuning in to Prime Parents with the Walkers once again. Former Buff Art Walker and his wife, Miss Candace Walker, man. We appreciate you guys. You guys done a great job raising your son. Continue to, before I gotta ask this question. Sorry. I know we're late, guys. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Don't kill you out there. Hold on. All right. What are some of the things like advice or morals or something you guys he should be holding on to right now that you have taught him? Family values or morals or things of that nature right now.
You can go first.
Well, I always, of course, religious wise, I always tell them just, pray without ceasing. You just, everything that you ask for, God will give it to you, and I just say, just be steadfast in everything that you do, and don't waver. That's my biggest thing for him. Don't waver, don't ponder.
And I usually, like when you start talking about morals, and I always make this reference, there are 3 types of people: people that lead, people that follow, and people that complain. And I always ask them, like, where do you fit? Which one of those people are you? and everybody can't be a leader. But I think that we've put him on that path, and I think he's got strong convictions, religious. Whatever he does, he has a strong conviction to it. So that part of it, I can say the buy-in. When you start talking about morals, he's bought into what it takes to be a man, to be a outstanding man. So that part of it. So like I said, you want him to be the complete person. And like I said, I've been rough around the edges, and I have to learn stuff as I go. But he had been afforded the opportunity to get information from both of us. And like I said, the people that we've been around, like I said, it's who you surround yourself with. So you just basically got to just keep preaching and keep talking, and like we know when they get it, they got it.
Yep. They get exactly.
Surround yourselves by like-mindedness people. I always say that. Yep.
And real. Your relationship with your brother, your former players and stuff. You guys, I heard Arden talk about how you guys are still, contacting each other each weekend or whatever. Lifelong relationship forged through football, the importance of that and being around good people. Just speak on it real quick.
Well, like I said, I have several of my team. They call all the time. So, you're getting a call or two from like guys all the time. And, it's quite a few guys that still live here in the area. But then even the ones that then went back to their own prospective homes, it's like we stay in contact. And I think it built a brotherhood just being, because we went through something. And as we went through something 30 years ago, it just basically just created just a great atmosphere. And like I said, we all had to get along, had to figure out how to get along. And like I said, times we didn't have anything. And we made nothing out of something, and I think that's what kind of like really, really made guys really go. We had little guys like Eric Bieniemy was one of our little fire and brimstone guys. I mean, you can come like Alfred was a jovial guy. Candace was a serious guy. I mean, you can go down the list. Greg Thomas, he was a comedian on the team. So we had quite a few personalities like Charles Johnson. So and we see each other on a frequent basis. So. Like Charles, for instance, you got to cut him when you walk in the room because, half of them like to talk about your weight. And he's, got the biggest head and the biggest body out of the group. But you have to just hit him first. But it's just been that type of atmosphere. Like Alfred Williams' oldest son just got married when they just played Stanford. So I had to attend that because, like I said, we've been around each other 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's been great to see guys and great friendships, weddings, marriages, divorces, go down the list.
All right. Last but not least, any shout outs right there? Shout outs, Buff Nation and everybody else, any people that you might have forgotten or haven't seen in a while. Shout out hometown, family.
Well, always Houston, Studewood, even though they didn't regentrified it or whatever, but Studewood forever. I'm always going to be that butt-naked war eagle, class of 86. That's how we do it, baby. But like all my family, all my sisters, I say hello to them. And then, like I said, everybody just realized that Ardin been playing football basically all his life because we've been getting hit. People out of the woodworks been coming out of the woodworks like, I didn't know he played. Yes, he's been playing forever, but just like shout out to everybody, and then shout out to you for actually having us on your show.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Thank you guys once again for joining me. I really appreciate it. This has been another edition of Prime Parent with some great parents right there, or should I say? Right there. Coach Art and Miss Candace, I appreciate it once again. All right, we're going to be up and about this thing. Shouts out to Ardin Walker.
Have a good evening.
Buffs.
H-Town, baby. Go Buffs, baby.
Yes, sir.